Hi everyone, welcome to episode 4 of the Jones the Trainer podcast. Today we're here with an old friend of mine, Barry Curtis from Curtis Brothers Fitness. We're going to talk to Barry today a little bit about what he's done in the past as a personal trainer all the way through to today, where he now has his own gym, Curtis Brothers Fitness in Lanark. And we'll speak to him a little bit about his opinion on what personal training is going to be like going forward after COVID and the plans that he's got for his gym. So, welcome Barry.
Thanks for joining us, Barry. Really appreciate this and for hosting us in here as well. It's a cracking setup you've got. So
excellent setup, yeah.
Really enjoying just getting a wee tour around and stuff. So
No problem. Happy to be in.
How's lockdown been?
Lockdown, obviously it's been a tough period for the last 4 months. I think initially I was kind of thinking that it might just last a month or so. I'm sure you guys
I think we all were, yeah.
So much uncertainty.
And obviously it's lasted this long, but I think you just kind of adjust as you go along. Do you know what I mean? I'm quite a positive person at the best of times, so you just adjust, and yeah, it's frustrating, but I don't see the point in moaning about it. You just get on with it and stick to the rules, I suppose.
And things now that things have started to loosen up a little bit, managed to get some outdoor sessions on the go.
Personal training's probably been going on for the last 6 weeks or so.
Good.
I initially started down at Castlebank Park, just to, again, things were very strict, but I thought all my equipment's here, I can get the most out of here, so we've set up 2 or 3 gazebos, and I think there's 6 or 7 trainers out the side of the gym, PTing, so we're probably up to a good capacity now.
Yeah.
I think there's still the odd person that's wanting to hold back until the gyms are open, but as I say, we're all still making money, and that's the main thing.
Yeah, and it's good that clients have been receptive to that as well, I suppose.
Oh,
and
absolutely,
want to come back
absolutely. The support I get personally is fantastic, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
And how long have you been based here now? What's the sort of background into Curtis Brothers Fitness?
We started the gym. We started initially when I moved to Lanark. We had a boot camp again down Castlebank Park, and it was myself and my brother Craig who we used the boot camp to get a big client base. Once we had a couple of hundred people come to the boot camps regular, we decided to open the gym just round in Bannatyne Street in Lanark. So that was our first premises, very, very small. And then we launched as Curtis Brothers in 2012.
Yeah.
So we've since moved to the old post office, just down the road there. And we were there for another 3 years. And then we've been in this premises for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So it's been fantastic, a hard transition. And I think initially taking the big leap to come here, and it's such a big facility, it was like kind of starting again.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I mean, you dig in and you get through it, I suppose. And then obviously we've hit the kind of lockdown period.
Absolutely,
you know.
And when you first started to get into that, was it a members gym that you had initially, or was it more a sort of PT studio?
Yeah, it was a studio, but we see, to be honest, it was purely classes to begin with.
Okay.
You know, because I came from Castle Douglas, I didn't really know MD in Lanark. We built up our client base, and we started it in November 2011, and we ran Monday to Friday, two boot camps from 6 to 8 p.m. Monday to Friday. And then again, once we noticed that we're getting very busy, we launched as a gym, bringing in classes like circuit training and ab classes, all the kind of usual things. And then personal training started to kind of kick on from there.
Yeah.
You know.
And there'd obviously be a lot of apprehension, I suppose, when you go into something like that for the first time as well, because there's that uncertainty.
Absolutely. There's always a wee bit of fear, but I'm that type of person. Again, mention the positive kind of side of things.
Yeah.
I believe in what I do is the right way, you know, and with my brother on side, you know, we knew we could kind of bounce off each other.
Well,
through it, you know.
You and I have known each other a long time, and I knew you back in the days when you were a PT, and not long after I first met you, I know there's a story and something I used to wind you up about, and that, you know, you had your kind of 15 minutes of fame on the front of the Sun, was it?
It was at Gillis McDonald.
When you were in the army and you were.
In Iraq.
Clear. So Barry is ex-army, and not long after I met him, it sort of came to light that he was on the front page of the newspapers because he'd been asked to clear a minefield, which is a pretty dangerous job. And just to put you in the picture, there's no kind of special way to get around it. You basically go on your belly. You're given something it looks like a massive tent peg. And a visor that's similar to the COVID visors they're wearing in restaurants, and you go on your belly and you poke in this tent peg, and you know, if you hit something that feels like a landmine, you put a little flag in there and move on to the next one. So I used to wind up Barry quite a lot and sort of, say to him, well, you're obviously the most popular one of the platoon, and, were you well liked in the company and all that, did you volunteer or did you ask? And, winding him up going, well, either it's because you're daft or it's because you've got balls of steel, but to end up where you've ended up with Curtis Brothers Fitness and to keep pushing through all the challenges and everything that's been thrown at you, I know it's balls of steel.
Appreciate it.
But still, we'll try and get a copy of that photo just to show everybody.
And then obviously did a bit of time in military and
yes, 7 years in the Royal Engineers.
Okay.
Yeah. So I absolutely loved that, and I've spoken about this to numerous clients and friends over the years. I don't think I would have done what I've done and achieved today if it wasn't for the forces. And it's simply discipline.
Yeah, that'd be a big grounding and
massive, absolutely massive.
Yeah.
So I can only thank the military for that.
And so take us through. Then you've left the military. You're out on Civvy Street and you're looking to get started in fitness. You get your first job in fitness. How does that work out for you?
Okay, so first job over in the Hilton. Obviously, that's where I met yourself. And I remember vividly, as a fitness instructor, I was basically a glorified cleaner, and I remember that when I was trying to break into the kind of PT side of things, I was going up to people on treadmills, cardio kit, and asking them, please, would you want to do some PT with me? It was very, very difficult to get going. There was no kind of bedding in period. It was the rent was a set amount. If you've got one client or 30 clients, you're still paying the rent.
Yep.
So it was hard to get going, but it's a learning curve, and it's kind of set me in sort of how I deal with my staff now. Do you know what I mean? Because I understand how hard it is to get going.
Yeah, because there can be there's so many false illusions almost surrounding the personal training world and the fitness industry, and you see it, for example, like you could go onto a job searching website and it'll pop up, it'll be like personal trainers wanted, full training provided, salary of 30 to 40 grand a year, and people will just be like, oh wow, yeah, you can make that, but it's a massive graft. Like that's.
Oh, of course it is.
You don't just walk into a job as certainly not as a self-employed personal trainer and earn.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. You've got to obviously find success with your clients first.
Yeah.
But you've got to have that. Personality is a massive thing. If you've got no personality, it's not going to work for you.
Absolutely.
And like I say, getting the job done, but. You've got to be willing to put the graft in. If you're a hard worker, you're going to do well.
There's so many PTs will get qualified and think that that's it. It's the door's open to them to having a huge client base, and you're exactly right with personality. It's you can have all the qualifications, but people want to buy from people, and that goes back to trying to punt on a gym floor, which wasn't a particular favourite of mine. I never really kind of liked doing that kind of thing, and going up to people and sort of saying, "Oh, let me help you with your technique." Thought about personal training. People need to know why that they would PT with you in the first place.
Yeah. And then that's kind of where fitness and business merge a little bit as well. And you could be the best, most knowledgeable personal trainer in the world, but if you don't understand how to market yourself or be approachable and friendly with people, then it's difficult as well.
That's it.
Aye, absolutely.
And again, it's a big learning curve for everyone that goes in, and kind of hits home. There's that element. Okay, I've got to be disciplined. I've got to be proactive. I've got to be busy and be willing to be busy and work hard before I can get to that.
Yeah, and I think going forward with coronavirus now and the way things are going to be opening up, all of those aspects are going to be amplified, and trainers are going to really need to sort of be able to work on their approachable, personable skills to be able to get business, because it's starting out right now might be a little bit difficult, but you're still going to be able to get clients. And we were talking about this before we started the podcast about sometimes personal trainers can be a bit of a funny bunch, a bit cliquey about things, a bit territorial, and my view on that has always been that if you're not getting clients, it's your fault. It's not somebody else that's taking business from you. You've either got the wrong approach, you're not speaking to people how they want to be spoken to, you're not giving them the information that they want to hear. Business, the clients are out there.
Oh, absolutely, and I think there will be when the doors open in the gyms. There will be clients there, but again, it's how you approach it.
Well, you've got trainers working for you here. What do you think is going to look like for them going forward?
I think it's going to be very positive. I mean, as I said, I think there is going to be a number of people. We're starting to get more inquiries. I've noticed in the last 1 or 2 weeks, we're getting maybe 3 or 4 inquiries a week. So yeah, I'm very confident that things will be fine. Personal training wise, more so than people maybe coming in their crowds.
Yeah.
You know, I think there'll be more and more people that will want to jump maybe a block of 10 or do PT before they actually get a gym membership, you know.
Yeah.
That's just my personal opinion, you know.
Yeah, and you know, approaching that here, I know, you know, we all know a lot of the big corporate gyms basically look at trainers as an extra source of income. How do you work it like that? Is it kind of the trainers come to you, they have a set rent, you're basically like renting them the space, or?
Yeah, I mean, it's a set rent that all my trainers have, and they would do 3 classes per week. So say for instance we've got the morning classes, say 9:30 to 10:30 for talking's sake, and then in the evening there's another 2 classes. So I try and work it out. Say for instance Gordon, one of my trainers, he would take a Monday, and that's once he's done the Monday, that's him for the week, and then there'd be a separate trainer Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you know. So we kind of work it that way, but we've got a good team of guys here, and say somebody's away on holiday, we can always fill in and job together.
And you've actually managed to take on another person with COVID, is that right? During the lockdown?
So my brother Craig's going to be coming back, and he's due to start, I think, round about the mid-September time, and obviously Craig's been kind of in and out the fitness business for a long time, but he's been very, very successful with his clients when he has been involved in PT, so I'm looking forward to working with him because you've got some great loyalty there, and he's just solely his weight loss results he gets with his clients are first class. So looking forward to working with him.
What I'd say about being here as well is, you know, I know that we're talking about you rent the space out to the trainers, and you've got the trainers working here, but this is very much a kind of, it's almost like a family environment kind of gym, isn't it?
Absolutely.
I can imagine it would be a good place for PTs to be working from here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we all kind of tend to kind of tie in together, help each other out, but you're right, it's a family kind of friendly gym, and that's the one thing I always said to myself in the business plan at the start. I understand that, see when you've been involved in gyms, you guys will be able to kind of understand, and you see somebody over in the corner, maybe somebody a little bit overweight, and you can see they're uncomfortable, and they're kind of, the first thing I want to do is go over and kind of say, listen, are you okay? And make them feel kind of welcome, you know. So understand there's a lot of that kind of stigma in a gym, and I've always said it needs to be a family friendly place. I want the shyest person, the person with the lowest self-esteem to be able to walk in that door, you know.
And that's such a big thing, and again for a PT, getting clients or getting new members in a gym, to have that kind of approachable atmosphere, because it can be so daunting. Remember, we spoke about it in one of our earlier podcasts, and even when I was first going to a gym at 16 and 17, I didn't have a clue how to use any of the resistance equipment. I never lifted weights before. You go in, you see people who do know what they're doing, you get intimidated, and you just jump in a treadmill for 10 minutes and then you disappear because you don't know what to do. And it's a horrible feeling, and a lot of people experience that, and you know what they're going through. So to be able to make them feel welcomed and invite them into a space is such a great thing to have, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we tend to do well because we'll do like a gym events. Like we just did a hill walk up in Araka. I think we did the cobbler maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Great,
and we'll do certain events maybe 5 or 6 times a year, and it gives people an opportunity to come and kind of meet us outside of work. Do you know what I mean? And realise
real
that we are actually
community feel.
normal. Absolutely. And I think that definitely works. So it's good.
Yeah, excellent. So, tell me, are you doing much PT yourself now, or are you basically more kind of hands-on with operations? And
if I'm honest with you, I've definitely. I mean, this lockdown's made me realise it's given me a chance to kind of step back and kind of assess my life a bit more. And I think I mentioned just at the start, it was like kind of starting again by coming to this new premises, and obviously a lot of big bills to get paid and loans to get paid. So. For a period of 2 years, I was paying massive bills, so I had to work. It was roughly at one point I was working 70 hours a week, purely personal training, and you'll definitely know it's not healthy.
Yeah, it's not healthy. You know? Well, by the end of the day, you're not giving 100% to your final clients, you know, and you're kind of starting to feel like a bit of an imposter by going, have I just given them the service that I gave my client at 11 o'clock this morning? You do worry about these things.
So I've eventually, obviously, with the kind of COVID coming in and the government help, I've managed to clear all debts, all loans paid off.
Great.
And now I can work, and my plan is to work 35 hours. and then obviously I can manage the place better.
Sure.
And I think that's definitely the way to go.
So
You know.
at the time of recording this, gyms aren't officially open in Scotland at the moment. I know they are. Some of the gyms are open down south.
Yeah.
So what have the challenges been around that? How have you managed to sort of get people back in?
Well, I've been very, very lucky that there is still a high percentage of people paying. This is how loyal our members are. 65-75% of our members still paying the membership, so I've still been able to pay my bills and keep things tying over. But what I have done with all the money that these guys have been kind enough to keep paying is I've bought some CrossFit equipment.
Yep.
I've managed to get some assault bikes in, air assault bikes, ski ergs, Concept 2 rowers, amongst other kind of smaller equipment, new music system, and we're looking to get 2 guys, Gordon and Christy, on a CrossFit course in October.
Right.
And we're going to be an affiliated CrossFit club.
Okay,
October.
so that's what you've got planned for
Yes.
for the facility going forward. So
Yeah.
you're going to get CrossFit affiliated.
Yes.
Okay,
Brilliant.
good stuff.
So
And
I
will
think,
that change our membership as well? Will you?
I think so. I think we're going to. The plan is to make that a specific membership, because it is a specific type of fitness, and we've got a wide range of members. We've got members that are in their late 60s, maybe early 70s, that still come to the odd class.
Yeah.
And we've also got very, very young members. We're hoping to kind of drive into the kind of CrossFit side of things. I personally kind of enjoy CrossFit. We've got a wee workout plan just now, just with a few friends, and I'm starting to get into it. So I noticed Glasgow, the bigger cities, Edinburgh, Manchester, all these kind of places are right into their CrossFit.
Yeah.
So I'm looking to kind of jump into that kind of angle,
Yeah.
going forward.
Yeah. And you said yourself that you're sort of developing an interest in that as well, in the CrossFit side of things. What's your kind of your training background?
Yeah, well, I've always been a runner. I'm
Okay.
like a wee skinny ectomorph, you know what I mean? So it takes a lot for me to go and build myself up a bit. But I enjoy weights, predominantly upper body. So I actually train with Gordon, one of our personal trainers, and I do 2 leg sessions a week with Gordon. I remember doing a blog with you.
That's
in
right. Yeah,
Glasgow,
you came in to
lifting.
do some Olympics. Yeah.
So I'm enjoying that. I hated them for a few weeks doing it because I do hate training my legs, but
Yeah.
I'm actually, I'd be lying if I said I enjoy it, but I'm not fearing it anymore. So
Yeah.
I'm doing a bit of legs just now, which is great, but I really think this CrossFit is complementing what we do, because you're opening up your lungs, you're entering into the kind of cardio side of things,
Yeah.
and it's something I'm really enjoying now. So I'm looking forward to getting that going.
You're gonna have a CrossFit nickname.
What, like?
I don't know, like
Yeah, you need a
like the
nickname.
Destroyer or something, or
Destroyer, I possibly. How will you think about that?
high fives and chest bumps, and
Christ,
ass
aye.
slaps and all that kind of stuff.
Can I do high fives? Really?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But then there'll be a lot of opportunities within that, 'cause you see a lot of gyms that are kind of more CrossFit orientated, and they'll do competitions with their members and stuff. And
Yeah.
again, it just adds to that community atmosphere that you're obviously big on building here as well.
Aye, absolutely, and I would love to. I mean, it's further down the line, but I'm sure there'll be amateur CrossFit competitions. We've got Ravenscraig just round the corner,
Yeah.
and I would love to have Gordon and Christy train up a team that would want to enter that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It'd be
Yeah.
great fun. It'd be a great wee day out for the gym as well.
Yeah.
You know. So I'm looking forward to getting that going.
Good, exciting times ahead, and always
Aye.
something to-
I'm always positive, and whatever comes, we deal with it.
yeah.
So going forward from here, then September 14th, is it? 14th we're opening.
Yeah.
So what have you got planned for getting opened up?
Well, we've bought all the usual Perspex screens. We've got stickers for the floor, and I've got this cleaning company in. There's this cleaning product in New Zealand that apparently when you spray it on, it keeps the kind of bacteria and COVID away for a period of 21 days. So
Right.
if it means I've got to pay for that every 21 days and get the gym open, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, obviously, I want to try and keep it as safe as possible. There's a lot of people that are scared out there just now,
Yeah.
and I want to ensure that even the most scared people are confident enough to come to the gym,
Yeah.
and they understand I'm going to try and make them as safe as possible.
I mean, it makes sense, and again, something we were talking about before we started recording this, and we're all pretty much of the same opinion. You know, how can pubs be open and gyms not be? You know, so people are out getting drunk, nobody's socially distancing, and you know, you come to a gym that's going to be looked after like that, cleaned, everything's going to be you know, in its right place.
The difference, I think, between pubs and here is we're compos mentis.
Yeah.
That's the difference. We can be sensible, but Let's not argue.
Yeah.
Just hold off.
And will you have to operate a sort of booking system?
Yeah,
as
I
well?
mean, we've got a booking system all there. Joanne, our assistant manager, has sorted all that out. So we've got the full track and trace system already in place. So we're more or less good to go. We just need to kind of sort a few things internally.
Yeah.
But you would just be desperate to get open as
Oh,
well again.
listen, I'm itching to go, and I get text messages every day from my members.
Yeah.
Hoping that I'll know something that Nicola Sturgeon doesn't.
Yeah.
So I can see they're excited. I'm excited, but we just need to kind of hold our horses.
Well, we were going to ask you as well. So.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And you've been training people outside. In the car park.
Yeah, PT, and I'm an early bird. I'm always in 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. I work till lunchtime. Two evenings a week. I'll come in and do a few at night as well. And we've got classes on every night for the guys, 5:30 to 7:30. We've got a couple of boot camps on, and then a Saturday. What I tend to do on a Saturday, I get the gazebos up and open the fire doors, and I do an open gym. So I basically take all the equipment out. I'll maybe set up dumbbells and a few benches and one gazebo, the bars and another med balls and other equipment, you know. And I mean, I can take guys through a wee kind of mini workout, or they can come in and do their own workout.
Yeah.
So that's been quite popular as well. But the members have really kind of bought into it, so they understand we're trying our best to move on, you know. So I said before, we get very, very good support. A lot of loyal people involved in the gym, so I'm very, very lucky.
Yeah. I'm interested to kind of take you down the kind of PT route a little bit more, and for those people that maybe starting off PTing and not got as much experience, how would you work it if you've got a new client who's inquired and they're looking to start PT, maybe very fresh to the gym and they've not done anything before? Where would you start with them?
Well,
what's your...
I know my trainers very, very well, and I would sit back and decide what that client's looking for, and I would decide who best to kind of pass them to. I know my PT's strengths and weaknesses, so I would know exactly who to pass them to, you know. And obviously, if it's somebody that's using the gym for the first time, it would be one of the most approachable PTs. Not that any of my PTs are unapproachable.
Yeah.
Okay, so for those of you that are now watching this on YouTube, it's going to look a little bit different on the video due to a technical error that we encountered, but we
After us saying that we are now proper pros in the tech stuff, we're actual technophobes really still, even after all lockdown.
But yeah, we've managed to get around it. So for those of you listening in on the podcast, you're not going to know any different. You'll be blissfully unaware. We'll just carry on.
If you've got new clients coming into the gym, what sort of approach do you take with nutrition and supplements as well? How do you start off that journey of a new client, whether it be weight loss or looking to put on a bit of muscle mass? What steps do you take?
Well, as I said, I take every client as they come in the door. I know everyone's different. Me personally, I do take a grenade bar once a day, and I do take the PhD protein, but I don't tend to recommend that to my clients. I try and get them to get their kind of macros leveled out with just not regular foods.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it, really, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah, absolutely.
Even though the grenade bars and a lot of supplements are fantastic, especially now, and I remember the ones that we used to sell in the gym, which was what was the branding, and it was like chewing leather, just dreadful. Whereas protein bars and stuff,
we're pretty big as well on making sure that before we recommend any supplements that we're getting people to get their diet in order and taking supplements as exactly that, supplements, once we've got them onto some kind of set routine.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's very few and far between. I think there's maybe one person that used the gym regular, and it was just to try and bring his protein up. But as I say, I don't tend to recommend it, you know.
Yeah, and then there's so many faddy diets and stuff out there. As there is, you'll get people coming in, and whether it be they've heard about Herbalife, or there's so many that it's so important to almost just take everyone away from that, strip it back, and get to basics of having a colourful plate full of fruit and veg and having a protein with every meal. You don't necessarily need the supplements of bars and shakes to get results.
100%. Yeah, I do remember a story of a guy coming in the gym maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and he came in with a big smile on his face, very, very overweight, and he was coming in trying to sell me Juice Plus, I think it was.
Right.
And he was coming up with a story that he had lost 3 stone in, I don't know, a week or something like that. And obviously you can understand my reaction. I kind of ushered him out the door pretty quickly with no much conversation. So I'm not a big fan of these kind of faddy diets. As I said before, I tend to stick to the basics and what you're getting at the supermarkets.
Yeah. And then with regards to like macros or tracking, is that something you would do with clients?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the main way we go about things. But I think I kind of touched on this before. I try and keep it as basic as possible because it's very easy to confuse the absolute beginner when they come in with too much information. So we do try and give them the minimal information, just enough for them to kind of crack on, work hard and lose those few pounds every week. But again, you can take it a client at a time. Some people are willing to listen and learn. Other people are wanting you to do everything for them, you know. So again, it's taking a client at a time and seeing how they are.
You're right, and you know, I think information overload is a big thing, and especially if someone's made the decision to come and see you, that they've maybe seen a lot of things online saying this is how you should be working out, this is how you should be eating. They come in with a bit of an information overload and expect you to give them everything in session 1. Whereas actually we tend to focus on a training to train phase and adaptation to phase. I want to see if a client can actually get their head around tracking. I want to see if they can understand the basics of training to train, what they should be lifting, what they should push, pull, press. Can they move off center at all? You know, and understanding that, I usually put people into a phase where I'll say, right, go away, track for a week to 2 weeks before we even discuss your calorie deficit. Get used to doing it and getting into the process, getting into the right mindset. Then we'll discuss what your calorie goals are.
Because it's going to be so difficult as well for someone who's coming in and they've never tracked before as well, and then you set them up, and whether it be a 50-30-20 split, and that's so overwhelming for someone who on top of that is then attending the gym 3-4 days a week, and to be getting yourself into a new routine with your training, and then you're tracking nutrition and trying to hit fat goals and protein goals and all the rest of it. And then do you get asked for meal plans a lot as well?
Yeah, I do a lot. I mean, I run a monthly blitz, and I get these guys to send me much the same idea as you guys. I do try and basic it at the start. Within those first couple of weeks, if you're getting them to kind of follow the basics, if they're willing to pick that up and learn, then I'll move into the kind of next stage after that, you know.
We don't tend to do meal plans. We get asked for them all the time. And sure, I could give somebody a meal plan, but it tends to be a last resort. I can tell people what they can eat that's going to fit into a 1,600 calorie a day diet, or 1,800, 2,000. But whether it's food that they actually want to eat, and whether it's food that they like and that they're going to stick to, is another thing. And you very rarely see that. So we definitely take the approach of sort of teaching people how that they can track, how that they can fit the foods in that, like, so that they're more likely to adhere and stick to their diet.
Yeah, because that's the big thing. I think personal training's, it's a learning curve for people as well, and you want people to grow themselves and start to learn about food. So and when they get into a position, whether it be 6 months down the line or a couple of years down the line, they have a better understanding of what 1,600 calories or 2,000 calories a day is, and what kind of foods make that up. And I think the big problem by people who follow these fad diets and follow Herbalife and stuff, they'll lose weight in them because they're in a calorie deficit, but they have no understanding of food off the back of it. Whereas if someone's tracking for a period of time, you get to, I mean, you still have to go back every now and again and remind yourself, okay, right, I need to cut this out and cut that out because I'm clearly going over, but you have a better understanding of what a good day and what a bad day looks like.
Yeah, exactly. The main thing, and it's very simple, is these faddy diets that you're talking about, they're never ever, by the end of it, they're never changing their relationship with food. They don't understand it, you know. And I feel you do that with a healthy, evenly balanced diet.
So what's the future looking like for you, Barry? You've obviously mentioned earlier with the CrossFit side being added to the gym and stuff, is that going to be a real focus point going forward?
Absolutely, that's going to be my main focus. Class-wise, when we go back, we're going to have that specific membership we talked about, and we're in the process of working that out just now. And obviously, we've got the news today of the gyms reopening the 31st, which is really exciting. So I've got a lot of planning to do in the next 7 to 10 days and getting the gym open. But I'm very excited about the future of the gym, and I'm confident people have been texting and calling today to set up their gym membership again. So I'm absolutely delighted. I'm confident things will be very positive.
Count on us popping up once those doors open.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Absolutely.
I'm wanting some of this CrossFit action, see what it's all about.
No, it's brilliant. I'm really enjoying it. So I'm looking forward to starting it.
So that's good. You've got Craig coming back in to join the rest of the team. So who else on the team have you got that's ready to go for the gym opening?
So I've got a number of great personal trainers. I've got Christy Barr, who's also our sports therapist at the gym as well. So she's kind of got two roles at the gym, which is fantastic in the job. So she's got some real potential. Another young girl that's just joined, Caitlin McKenzie. Heard a lot of good things about her in the area, so this is why I brought her in. She's came from New Lanark. We've got Gordon Campbell, just from down the road. He was a personal trainer in David Lloyd in Glasgow, actually, and another fantastic trainer. I actually personally do personal training with Gordon every week, twice a week. He's fantastic, so I can first-hand recommend that guy. Stephen Purdy, great trainers. I firmly believe that we've got the best trainers in the area.
So tell us, Barry, how people can get a hold of you going forward. How do people contact you, your website, your socials?
Yeah, I mean, all the kind of regular bases. We've got Facebook, Instagram, our website, cuttersbrosfitness.com. Most importantly, pop into the gym in One Baxter Lane, Lanark.
Yeah, we'll pop that on the footnotes of the podcast as well. So if anybody's looking to find Barry or wants to pop down to the gym, then I'm sure he'd be more than welcome to have you as well.
Barry, from a personal point of view, it's been great. I've known you for a long time, and seeing your transition from starting out as a fitness instructor through the personal training years, through your boot camp years, yes, you've had to see Coach Brothers Fitness. It's been great to watch.
No, I appreciate it, and thanks very much for having me. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for jumping on, Barry. It's been really great. Thank you.
No problem at all. Cheers.